Hey, hello everybody. So I am going to be building my wife's computer. She would probably say it's my computer, but and there is a little bit of truth to that. I might take it over only because it's going to be better than my rig. In a few minutes or so, I'll probably show you what mine looks like and then what's going to be going into my wife's rig. So let's go ahead and just start. I'm just going to show you what I'm going to be putting in there. I don't really want to call this like a how to build your own PC or like the best budget build for under whatever dollars, but I will tell you how much I spent on building this. And spoilers, I did have some parts lying around, so I didn't have to completely buy everything. I really wanted to build this because we wanted to start our own series where we play like Minecraft and stuff, where she has her own PC. So that's kind of the confines of the build. So I had some spare parts lying around. I had some promo codes that I really wanted to use from Fry's, which if you're not subscribed to that, please do that. You'll save a lot of money. It's even better than Amazon Prime. Started the build specifically because of this little combo that they had. This is a 970 Pro Gaming Aura, so it has RGB lighting and everything. I plugged it in just for a little bit earlier just so that I could I think it's called breadboarding, but basically you're doing a test run of everything, making sure everything's working before, screwing everything down and then figuring out later, oh no, I don't know what's happening, I don't know what's going on or why it's not working. So tried it earlier, stuck a motherboard speaker on there, got some post codes, so it seems like we're solid. So this really cool, good Asus 970 Pro Gaming Aura motherboard, looks really good, was sold as a bundle with this FX 8370 by AMD, and it has a Wraith cooler already bundled in with it. Usually both of these things would cost maybe $320, but with Fry's promo codes, I only paid $145 with it, and that's with it like a, I don't know, $10, $15 mail-in rebate. So even without that rebate, because we all know no one really does that, still pretty good. That's like 50% off, so not bad. So those are the CPU and the motherboard. Also on the promo codes, holy crap, this heavy, is the N500 power supply from, I don't know how to pronounce that, Lipa. Either way, 500 watts is plenty, especially since we're not going to be overclocking too much. Again, this is going to be my wife's rig, and she's not going to be doing any overclocking really, but there is room for upgrading later on. So in case, I don't know, she doesn't want to play it anymore, or a new card comes out and it's a lot better, I can just swap it in. For storage, I went with an SSD, of course. This was from PNY. I don't know if you're noticing a pattern yet, but I'm doing everything that's black and red. That was the original thought of the build. For the case, I went with an S340, which is a beautiful case from NZXT. I'm not going to do any like benchmarks or anything because I don't think I'm qualified to tell you what a good CPU is or what a good graphics card is, but I will tell you I spent about $60 each on everything. The power supply was only like, I think $15 with a mail-in rebate. So let me do some quick math here. So 60 plus 70, 130 plus 140, let's just call it 150. So that's like 280 plus a $15 power supply. That's less than $300 that I spent on all of this. Probably the most expensive thing is going to be Windows 10 64-bit to install. That's like $90. But all in all, I spent less than $500. The spare part, the only spare part that I had was a graphics card. I think it's an R7850. I'll show it to you later. That was still a good card. 2 gigabytes. I don't know how comparable it is to the 1050 that was just, I want to say just released, because I got the 1060, GTX 1060 from Asus, to go into my white rig. I think it was earlier this year. No, I think it was last year. And the 1070 and 1080 were out at the time. This year the 1080 Ti came out. I'm not sure when the 1050 came out now. Oh well, but the 1050 came out with a 2 gigabyte flavor and a 4 gigabyte flavor. If you don't know what that means, it just means that you have more resources to process data. I think that's the easiest way to explain it. So I'm gonna jump over to start building this. All right, I wasn't really planning on doing an unboxing, but I did want to show, friends of mine, what the process of building a PC looks like. I'm gonna start with the N500 power supply, or also known as PSU power supply unit. I've already kind of removed plastics and such, but I'm gonna try and just show you what everything looks like. It can be a little daunting at first. I did have a friend help me, Matt, who you'll probably hear on the Overwatch videos, helped me with my first one. So this is the power supply. It looks like this. This one's from Lipa or Lepa. I'm gonna say Lepa because I think that's a leopard, but watch it be a jaguar and totally unrelated. Oh well. Look at this nice jumble of cords here. I will show you where all of those go. It's not going to be a tutorial like I said, but I did just want to show you the process of doing it, and I don't know how much I can actually just show you. This one should look all familiar to you guys, and this goes in there, and this I'm going to leave in its box for now, because you don't want to mess with this. This is going to short out if you don't handle it properly. Basically, any part of your PC you don't want to mess with. You want to keep it in its anti-static containers. You want to try and limit the amount of static as much as possible. You'll need this sometimes. This is thermal paste. This one's from Scythe, I guess, and I just bought it at the store. It's like $4. I didn't include it in the actual price that I told you about, but it's really just to help dissipation of heat from your hot processor into your cooler. So this is the FX8370. So this is where the cooler is. If you open this up, there's a little protective coating, or not coating, protective plastic. This is the actual CPU cooler. This one's a Wraith cooler, so it's going to go right on top of the CPU to help cool it. That's some thermal paste that I'm going to be cleaning off and reapplying. Yeah, it'll be good. This is the CPU. Like I said, I'm leaving it in the plastic for now, just so I can limit the amount of static shock that is going onto it, but I'll at least show you what it kind of looks like. Thermal paste on there because I was making breadboarding earlier. This is what it looks like. Doesn't look like something straight out of the Matrix. Yeah. And this is the video card I'm going to be using. I didn't talk about it earlier. I have had this for a while. This is the Twin Frozr 3 from MSI. R7850, 2 gigabytes. It has HDMI out, 2 display ports out, and DVI. So that's plenty of outputs. So that's a total of like 4 possible displays if you're not going to be even buying some extra stuff. But that's what a graphics card looks like. If you've never seen one before, be very careful with these, especially the ones that are more expensive. This is the SSD. Also be careful with this. The reason that I went with an SSD is just because it's faster. You're not meant to write everything onto this. You're just meant to use this to boot your operating system really quickly. Any applications or programs that you use on a constant basis go on here. Not for your pictures and your audio files and stuff like that. On my basically every PC/MacBook in this household has an SSD in there. Both Leia and my MacBooks have an SSD and an external drive. Mine specifically has an SSD. I took out the optical drive and replaced it with this and a regular drive. So this is what a solid state drive looks like. Look how small it is. Very light too. Like this probably weighs less than a pound. It's like, I would say that these are about the same weight, this piece of paper and this. But the idea of a solid state drive, sorry I hit the mic, the idea of a solid state drive is that you don't have to, or you don't have any moving parts, so there's less room for error, less room for failure. So that's that. Here's the beautiful motherboard. I will show you what it looks like. And I have to be careful with this one too. This is probably one of the, I mean, motherboards, like I said, are kind of inexpensive. But I mean, you don't want to waste money, right? Unless you got it like that, in which case, fine, go do what you wish. So I'm gonna try and discharge some electricity. I'm just touching metal, which right now is my microphone stand. And I am on carpet right now. A lot of people would tell you not to do that. But as long as you discharge your electricity properly, you should be fine. This is an anti-static container. This is your best friend while you're kind of handling everything. I'm trying not to touch any metal parts. So that's what the inside of a motherboard looks like. Isn't it complex and beautiful? And this one again is the 970 Pro Gaming Aura. Let's see what else. I'll show you the case, and then I'm probably gonna do kind of a time lapse of me working on all of this stuff. So this is what the case looks like. Once I remove all of this. Beautiful, beautiful case. Very nice. Beautiful case. All white. Nothing on the front except for the logo. Fan, mesh, inputs, outputs. And once I remove all of this sticker stuff, it's gonna be quite amazing. And I'm probably gonna put some LED lighting in there just for overkill. Alright, so let me go ahead and get set up to start building everything and cleaning off some CPU stuff and getting all of this arranged in there. quick update. I've closed everything up. I just attached a external optical drive with Windows 10 on it. You can see the RGB going right there, and my keyboard. And Windows 10 is now installing. And it's all installed.